The DCAU really excelled at not only conveying proper depictions of iconic DC characters like Batman, Superman, and the rest of the Justice League, but it also brought forth unique concepts and ideas that have become very prominent in mainstream DC media, like the character of Harley Quinn, the modern, more recognizable version of Mr. Freeze in contrast to his earlier appearances in DC Comics before Batman the Animated Series, and more notably, this continuity brought forth the creation of my dog, Terry McGinnis, aka Batman Beyond. The concept of Batman Beyond might seem a bit questionable at first glance without any context. A young, futuristic teenage Batman set in a cyberpunk-esque Gotham where Bruce Wayne is really old and long retired, but the execution was done masterfully and the show was one of the best projects that come out of the DCAU. The concept has made its way into numerous DC comic runs, tie-in comics to the actual show itself, or several iterations that aren't connected but continue the idea from the cartoon, like in the New 52 or in DC Rebirth. Batman being represented in media like in games, movies, and TV shows has been a major component in DC adaptations for decades, to the degree that there are a lot of folk out there who complain about the whole Batman oversaturation. And there's too much Batman content, he's oversaturated, he's such an overrated character. There definitely is some merit to that though, especially with there being so many live action versions of Batman that haven't necessarily brought forth new concepts that have been heavily lacking in live action, like the Bat Family. So to solve a few of those issues, it absolutely boggles my mind how WB never took the opportunity to actually bring to life a Batman Beyond movie. Ever since the end of the DCAU, it's like Batman Beyond as a concept has just been treated worse than a side chick, completely forgotten about, neglected, or disrespected when it comes to the idea of adapting the mythos surrounding it. Anytime there seems to be a Batman Beyond project in the works, whether it be a movie or a video game, it ends up getting canceled. Why?
Fuck 50. I'm like, what do you say fuck me for?
The concept of Batman Beyond would work so well for a modern audience, and in my opinion would solve the Batman oversaturation problem in terms of offering a unique take on the Batman mythos that hasn't been done to death to where it could justify its own existence. What kind of sick, twisted timeline do we live in where WB had the perfect opportunity to utilize Michael Keaton coming back as an old Bruce Wayne in a Batman Beyond movie? A project that has been requested by the fandom for years at this point, that would serve as a cool Elseworlds tale that didn't even need to take place in the Tim Burton Batman movie universe. But instead of that, they decided to have him replace Thomas Wayne Batman in the bastardization of the Flashpoint storyline. Funny enough, apparently they did plan on making a Batman Beyond movie of some sort via the plans of the old regime that took over the DCEU. It was said to come out after the release of the Flash movie. If the Flash had done well, it would have spawned a sequel as well as a Michael Keaton-centric Batman film. Old regime plans were definitely questionable, as the Flash movie before Warner Brothers Discovery came along, with having James Gunn and Peter Safran take over. The OG plan was pretty much to have Michael Keaton serve as the main Batman of the universe, with him appearing in the cancelled Batgirl film, replacing Ben Affleck in the new DCEU soft reboot continuity that would emerge out of the Flash movie. Sasakae's Supergirl was supposed to get a movie, and basically Wonder Woman, Batgirl, and Supergirl were going to be the new trinity of the DCEU, with Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill not being prominent in any way.
I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that.
No, I'm being serious.
Any momentum for this horrendous idea was obviously put to a stop with new leadership under Gunn and Safran, along with no progress being made on the Batman Beyond movie, which would have been written by the writer of the Flash movie. It was stated that the film would feature Michael Keaton as Batman and also have the return of Michelle Pfeiffer as Selena Kyle, but it's kind of unclear if this movie would have been an actual faithful Batman Beyond movie with the inclusion of Terry McGinnis, because if this was only going to feature an older Bruce Wayne as the main Batman, maybe it was the best this movie never got made. Now, I like Michael Keaton Batman, don't get it twisted, but what is the actual point of having a 70-plus-year-old Batman be the main Caped Crusader in your universe if you're not going to incorporate the Batman Beyond concept properly? Unless they were trying to do that with the Batgirl character, with her being his protege or whatever, and if that's the case, that's arguably worse.
That don't work.
But the disrespect in not properly greenlighting a Batman Beyond movie sadly doesn't end there. Y'all know the Spider-Verse movies with Miles Morales, right? I mean, like, who doesn't at this point? Across the Spider-Verse was gas, and it had the internet in a chokehold.
Drop what you're doing and stop Spider-Man.
Miles, the black one!
Imagine a scenario where the visual development artist for Into the Spider-Verse pitches an animated Batman Beyond movie with a similar art style and aesthetic, taking into account the vibrant, futuristic visuals that is implemented in the Batman Beyond concept in general, providing concept art and conveying a deep-rooted passion to get it up and running. DC hasn't really had many, if at all, any major theatrical animated movies in the last handful of years or so, other than like, what, Super Pets?
Get that fucking shit out of here, bum ass nigga.
Imagine giving the opportunity to a major corporation like WB the chance to bake off of the success of their biggest IP while also taking part in the animation trends seeing in like Spider-Verse, and them niggas at Warner Brothers said no.
You niggas is just retarded.
They initially stated how there was absolutely no way they could do a Batman Beyond movie. What the hell does that even mean? What are you talking about? It's not like it would contradict any future cinematic universe plans, since it would be its own thing, which would be clearly conveyed to the general public. On the bright side, the Spider-Verse visual designer did state how WB did love the enthusiasm behind the pitch, and the quote-unquote no turned into more of a maybe. You gotta be all kinds of brain dead to not see the moneymaker this would be if it turns out to actually be a good film. I can't see anybody rejecting this idea in the slightest unless you just straight up got a hate boner for Terry McGinnis. Hey yo, James Gunn. Pero, if y'all don't greenlight this alongside your slate of Elseworlds projects, like that Jurassic League animated movie you're producing or whatever the hell, I'ma run the hands with y'all. Like, we have to fight. There's no other outcome.
I don't need no gun. I beat the shit out one of these niggas, boy. Straight up. Niggas don't want to fight no more.
What's funny is that these aren't even the only times the Batman Beyond movie was in the works but got cancelled. It was supposed to be a live-action Batman Beyond movie in the works in the very early 2000s, with Boaz Yakin co-writing the script with the Batman Beyond cartoon creators Paul Dini and Alan Burnett, but Yakin left the project due to the pressure of making said script. If you had even half a brain, you would probably be fond of the idea of a Batman Beyond video game being made. Well, for whatever reason, WB Games decided to cancel the Batman Beyond game that was being developed by WB Games Montreal in favor of the mid-fest that was Gotham Knights. I swear, we could have had it all. They were going to make a Batman Beyond game set 10 years after Batman Arkham Knight, with Damian Wayne as the main playable Batman. The Court of Owls were going to be the main villain. The Bat Cycle was going to be a way of traversing throughout the map. There was hella concept art released showcasing a plethora of villains and side characters like Two-Face, Poison Ivy, who I'm assuming was a new character that wasn't Pamela Isley since she died in Arkham Knight. Girl got the Thanos treatment. But I guess that's something even Rocksteady doesn't seem to care about. An older, bearded Bruce Wayne Batman who maybe might have been playable, or maybe it just would have been like a short sequence like in the first episode of the Batman Beyond cartoon, where it was the last time Bruce donned the cape and cowl before officially retiring. You also see concept designs for Dick Grayson, Gorilla Grodd, a female Black Mask since Jason killed Roman Sionis in the Red Hood DLC in Arkham Knight.
You don't need to do this. You get money, drugs, guns, weapons, whatever you want. Please, I'll take a plane, leave Gotham, never show my face again. Anywhere you want, I'll go anywhere. How about you go to hell? Say hi to Joker for me.
Turns out Josh Keaton was going to voice Damian Wayne as Batman, where he only got to record a little bit of dialogue before it got canned.
There was a game that I was going to be a part of that I was going to play Batman, and it wasn't going to be Bruce Wayne Batman. It was a different Batman. Yeah, the game, like everything about the game got leaked on some forum, and they ended up shutting it down. I'd done like 3 or 4 sessions on it, and that was the end of that game. It was Damian. It was the Damian Batman that I was going to be. Like the concept art for them, and they were doing such a different take on so many of the rogues gallery that, I mean, it gave away everything that was different about the game. Yeah, the leaks killed the project.
To clarify, the game was not canned due to plot leaks, since these concept art reveals were revealed after the game's cancellation, and they canceled this game in favor of Gotham Knights due to a mandate by WB Games executives. We know this because the creative director of Gotham Knights, Patrick Redding, would sometimes state how they were given the mandate to make a Gotham-centric co-op game or something along those lines whenever he would do press or interviews surrounding the game.
The serious answer to that question, in fact, is that, when we got a mandate to start a new franchise built around Gotham City, built around the Batman universe, right away we knew one of the things we wanted to be different was for players to have an extended period of growth and evolution for their character, for their hero. Because they'd be going out night after night and fighting crime. It wasn't going to be sort of a one and done scenario. It was going to be something that would unfold in a lot of different ways.
You can definitely see elements from the canceled game implemented into Gotham Knights, like the Bat Cycle and the use of the Court of Owls. Look, I'm not saying this game would have been some masterpiece, but god damn, it would have been better than both Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. You gotta be a better chain smoker than Snoop Dogg if you think a garbage live service looter shooter and a mediocre co-op game would have been better alternatives in expanding AAA DC games after Arkham Knight. Brother, we lost tremendously. It's not even funny. But But don't get it twisted, they still need to make this game somehow. The only thing I'm not the biggest fan of when it comes to this concept is having Damian Wayne be the Batman Beyond type of character instead of Terry McGinnis. Personally, I wouldn't bother trying to connect it to Arkham, just have another studio outside of Rocksteady and WB Montreal make a Batman Beyond game set in its own universe, like Monolith or something. Imagine the traversal of being able to fly around in the future tech bat suit or the flying Batmobile from the cartoon, the future aesthetic in the open world with the skyscrapers and unique designs. My guy, a game like that would be freaking fuego. But nah, y'all don't need all that. What you would rather want is yet another VR Arkham game exclusive on the MetaQuest 3.
I fucking hate it here, bro.
It is just completely nonsensical as to why WB would be so hesitant in giving proper due to Batman Beyond in media. Anytime there's a project in the works, it gets canned for whatever reason, robbing the fans of what would have been banger adaptations of the Batman Beyond mythos. The lack of depictions of Terry McGinnis is very questionable. The most recent appearance was in Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2, where he just stands there in the background and has like 2 lines of dialogue, which is infuriating since they had used his appearance in the little marketing they had for the movie. Like, why would you go out of your way to get the OG voice actor from the cartoon just for him to do nothing of substance? There are so many rich storylines and characters to explore, from the supporting cast of Terry McGinnis to the variety of villains like Ink or Blight from the cartoon. It's so weird how Harley Quinn, for example, has been pushed in modern times, getting her own animated show in recent years and her prominence in media in general, but my boy Terry can't even get a movie?
I just can't do it. I can't take this shit no more, man.
Only movie to feature Batman Beyond as the center of focus was Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, which is honestly peak. The cartoon aired over 20 years ago, and we somehow live in an era where this unique concept of DC's biggest cash cow isn't being utilized and portrayed in the public eye as much as it should be. Because let's be for real, Batman Beyond, in all honesty, deserves more respect.